welcome everyone to another episode of BaconBeercan Flexes. This is where I show off and review all the stuff I've bought over the years. And what we have here today, it's Aigis from Persona 3. So if you're not aware, Persona 3, it's a JRPG released for the PlayStation 2. So this game involves a group of teenagers gifted with the ability to summon manifestations of their persona, hence the name of the game. So they use these personas to battle something called shadows, which is a manifestations of a human's negative trait or emotions. As for the gameplay, the best way to describe it is a mix of Pokemon, JoJo, and mythical beings. So Aigis over here, it's actually a robot that joins the team in battle. As to why it looks like a human, well, you will have to play the game to find out. Alright, let's get back to the figure. Now this one, it's around 11 inches tall and roughly 7 inches wide. So this figure is manufactured by Alter, which is a really well respected maker in the industry, so I am not too worried about the build quality. That said, I wouldn't want to move this figure around too much. The base, it's actually pretty light, and as you can see, I kinda don't feel too confident about how the figure is attached to the base. So that's why for me, if I don't have to, I wouldn't move this figure around. This figure was first released back in 2012. Honestly, I don't quite remember how much this cost, but according to Google, the original price was around 10,000 yen, which translates to roughly $100 American. The sculptor, I believe, it's Saito Fumiki. If I'm wrong, please let me know in the comments. Another interesting fact about this figure is that the design is based on the cover of the Soejima Shigenori art book. Okay, here is the art book for comparison's sake. And if you're a fan of this series, and also given that you can find it, I highly recommend getting this art book. It's got a lot of goodies in there. Let's take a closer look at the figure, starting with the head. The first thing you will notice is the hair. Unlike most other figures where they use a solid color, this one has a more glossy and semi-transparent feel to it, so this gives the figure a very distinct look. Next, the face. Both the eyes and the lips looks great. If I have to complain about something, I would have to say it doesn't quite capture Soejima's artwork, but that's probably asking for too much. And then next, we have her headgear over here, which has a lot of details, and more importantly, the paint job, it's on point. You don't really see any bleeding or any mistakes over there. Moving on to the upper body. First, let's take a look at her shoulder. She is a robot after all, so it's good that we get to see the robotic parts. In terms of paint job, I didn't spot any mistakes here, so that's good. And in case you're wondering, this red part here, that's normally a ribbon. It's just in this case, it got torn up and flying around. And if you do have to move this figure around, be very careful because it's pretty fragile. Next, let's take a look at her hand. This is where you'll find another interesting feature of this character. Her forearm and hand together acts as a machine gun. And that is why if you look closely, you can actually see bullet in there. And if I have to nitpick, I would say the paint job on the bullet can be a little better, but otherwise, it looks really good in general. Before I move on to her lower body, I just want to point out how good the paint job for this zipper thingy is. It's actually quite impressive how there's no visible bleeding or any mistakes over here. Similar to the shoulders, you can see all the robotic parts on her hip. There's quite a lot of details here, so that's kind of nice. One thing you couldn't really see on her shoulder is that there's actually shading on the golden parts here. At least I hope that's what it is, and it's not the case of my figure changing color over time. So the figure looks good so far, but now it's time to look for the seams. Where? Where are the seams? Is this one? I can't really tell. Maybe the one along the face? Doesn't really look like one either. Huh. How about over here? Maybe? Damn. They are really well hidden. So this is one of the few figures where I actually have problems spotting the seams. So big props to Alter and the sculptor. Alright, so this is it for the Aigis review. After all these years, this is still one of my all-time favorite. The design and build quality still holds up with today's standard. And trust me, the same can't be said for a lot of figures from that time. And if you're interested in getting one of these, then well, your best bet is to get it from a reseller, which might cost you around $400, if not more. Thank you everyone for watching. If you got time to spare, go check out the Ludens Query podcast I'm part of. I also stream on Twitch on a regular basis. You can find the links in the description. And I'll see you all next time.